And so we say hi again, everybody. We welcome you to Falcon Field for tonight's battle in OAA White Division clash between the Harrison Hawks and the Farmington Falcons. You take a look at the Harrison Hawks, a team which has dominated this series against these Farmington Falcons. And not so much just these Farmington Falcons, but Farmington Falcons of years past. Because indeed, if past is pro, Luke, well, the Falcons will have their hands full tonight. In a series which dates back to 1971, tonight marks the 25th meeting all-time between Harrison and Farmington, and Harrison has gone 21-3 in the series. They've won 17 straight over the Falcons. And get this, all-time, Harrison has outscored Farmington by a margin of 704 to 167. So you do the math on that, and the average score through the years of a Farmington-Harrison game is Harrison 29 and Farmington 7. Farmington, though, has been resurgent of late. 2 weeks ago here on TV 10, you saw the Falcons knock off Rochester to put an end to a 15-game losing streak. But that victory over Rochester coming the week after the Falcons had suffered the worst defeat in school history, a 63-0 shellacking at the hands of the 7th in the state ranked Rochester Adams team, a very powerful team which leads the OAA White Division. But since that time, Farmington has rebounded, record back-to-back victories, including a shutout win at 10-0 1 week ago tonight as they were on the road to knock off Birmingham Seahold. For the season, Farmington has a record of 2-3. The Harrison Hawks, with their coach John Harrington, you see him right there, have a record of 3-1. Their only setback coming to the Southfield Blue Jays. We had the Harrison game 1 week ago when they knocked off Groves 21-6 at Harrison. So that's the situation tonight. Harrison finding themselves one game out of the conference lead, which is held by Rochester Adams. The Highlanders a perfect 4-0. Southfield is in second place at 4-1. Then comes Harrison at 3-1. The Birmingham Groves Falcons are 2-2. Then the Farmington Falcons are 2-3. We've got this one underway. Harrison winning the coin toss and taking the opening kickoff, and that ball is returned out beyond the 45-yard line. So good field position for quarterback Marcel Eady and the Harrison Hawks as they get this one underway here tonight at Falcon Field. We talk about Marcel Eady 1 week ago in Harrison's 21-6 win over Groves. Eady throwing for 142 yards, completing 7 of 12 passes. We see the stop being applied by Farmington's Martin Damian on the game's opening kickoff. So we're underway on a beautiful evening, a bit on the cool side. It's the first time all year that we've had to wear some outerwear as opposed to just a golf shirt because it's a little on the chilly side as Eady hands off to Johnson, who's battling and trying hard just to get back to the line of scrimmage. With that Farmington defense coming off a shutout victory 1 week ago is right there to stack him up. Tackle was made by number 21 Brian Burris, among others, for the Farmington Falcons. We're going to call that a loss of a yard. And second down and 11 for the Harrison Hawks. Raymond Johnson, the outstanding running back for Harrison, coming in tonight with a per carry average of 5.6 yards, 64 rushes for 358 yards. He rushed for 49 yards last week against Groves. You see him lined up in the tailback spot, and we get a flag that puts an end to this play before it had hardly begun. Usually that means an infraction against the offense. We get an illegal procedure call against Harrison, so that'll back him up. Second down and 16. Harrison has defeated Farmington 17 straight times, dating back to Farmington's last victory in this series, which came in 1977. These two teams have not played every year. They did play 1 year ago, and Harrison came away with a 35-0 victory in that one. So second down and long as Eady out of the shotgun brings it on the near sides. And look out, getting away for Harrison is Sidney Coleman, the nephew of Mill Coleman. He's going to pick up solid yardage. And it'll be third down and 3. So a gain of 13 yards. Wozmunski making the tackle for Farmington. So a 13-yard completion on the flanker screen from Eady to Coleman. And there you see the tackle. Actually, let's give credit to number 11, Jason Wilson, for Farmington on that stop. Just underway here in the first quarter. Third down. Scoreboard says it's 2. It's either a short 3 or a long 2. Give to Johnson. Stood up at the first down marker, falls forward, and he's going to be close. The line to make is the 45, and he's right on the 45. We look at the chains. It looks like he's made it by about the length of the football, and he has. So a first down carry by Johnson. So Harrison, after a penalty, backed up with a second down and 16, able to convert for a first down, move the chains, and keep this the first drive of the football game alive. Another beautiful evening as we look out over Falcon Field tonight. As we mentioned, a bit on the cool side. Temperatures in the 50s at kickoff. Will probably be in the 40s before all is said and done. Play fake to Johnson. Edie in trouble in the backfield. Brought down for a sack by number 24, Leonard Welch of Farmington, with some help. Welch got there first. Actually, number 8 for Farmington. That's Colin Clark. Was able to grab on to the quarterback, Marcel Edie. And then Leonard Welch coming from his defensive back position on the blitz, there to wrap up. And Edie is dropped for a loss of 5. Second down and 15 for Harrison. Straight eye for Mason. Sidney Coleman in motion, going to the far side. Play action again. Edie steps into his throw, has a man open. Nice diving catch across the way as it's hauled in by Kenneth Brown, the outstanding receiver for Farmington Harrison. The senior wideout, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Look at him stretch out to make that grab. That was a pretty catch. That's a gain of 17 and a first down for Harrison, and a bit deflating for the Falcons, coming as it does on the play after they had sacked the quarterback Marcel Edie. So again, Harrison able to escape a second down and long situation. Again, they move the chains. They've got it first down and 10 at the Farmington 33. This is the first drive of the football game. 8:50 left to go in the quarter. Clock is running. Edie going to pitch it to Johnson, trying the left side, spins through traffic and falls ahead to the 29-yard line. And that's a gain of 4. So Johnson running in traffic, but able to pick up those 4 yards. Second down, 6 to go. Boy, what a great game 1 week ago it must have been between Rochester, Adams, and Southfield, with first place on the line in the OAA White. Adams winning it 28-26 in that game. Southfield fell behind 19-0. Came roaring back to take a 26-19 lead, but ultimately lost. Had a here's a near interception, and that ball was in and out of the hands of Devon Scarber. Farmington's victory 2 weeks ago against Rochester. Scarber coming up with a big interception for the Falcons, and almost came up with a drive killer right here. Just unable to haul it in as the pass was intended for Kenneth Brown. Third down and 6 to go for Harrison. Let's call it 7 to go. Ball's at the 30. Line to make is the 23. Edie will work out of the I formation. Rolling to his right, might tuck it under, does. Picks up the first down out of the 20, 15, 10-yard line before he's brought down. And it's going to be first and 10 for Harrison at the Farmington 11. A 19-yard gallop by Marcel Edie. Let's take a look. Good open field tackle by Scarber, but again, not until Edie had collected those 17 yards. First and 10 for Harrison. This drive started at their own 45. And twice they've faced, well, in one situation it was 2nd and 16. On another, 2nd and 17. They converted them both. Johnson pushing the pile ahead down to the 5-yard line. Robert Johnson pulling his way through traffic. And Harrison inexorably moving down the field. They'll mark Johnson down at the 7-yard line. This is not a goal-to-go situation. Harrison could pick up a first down at the Farmington 1. Edie up under center. I formation for the Hawks. Falcons digging in on defense. Give to the first man through, number 2, Donnell Davis. And Davis diving ahead to the 3-yard line, maybe the 2. They'll spot it on the 3. And it's 3rd down and a 2. Edie gets the play from Coach John Harrington across the way. The Hawks gathered, waiting to get the word. Now they have it. Here comes the big 3rd down and 2 play. 6.5 left in the scoreless first quarter. Clock is running. This is the first possession of the football game. Edie up under center, 3 in the backfield. Johnson takes the handoff and scoots untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Harrison Hawks. So Johnson, a 3-yard touchdown run. And Harrison driving 55 yards on the game's first possession to take a 6-0 lead. And Max Trotz comes on to attempt the extra point for Harrison. Trotz 7 of 8 in point afters this year. Edie the holder, perfect snap, kick up, and I think they blocked it. They did. That was number 20 coming across from Farmington. That's Trace Brusco. And Trace Brusco blocks the extra point. Well, you never know if that might, in fact, loom large. So Harrison gets the touchdown on the 3-yard touchdown run by Johnson with 6:18 left in the first. And Harrison drives 55 yards on their first possession and twice overcame second and long situations to pick up first downs, keep the drive going, and ultimately it's Robert Johnson scoring the touchdown for the Harrison Hawks. So Harrison on top, 6-0. For Johnson, told you 64 rushes for 358 yards coming into the game tonight. Good for a per carry average of 5.6 yards. And that is his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And Harrison with the lead. And Farmington waiting to receive this kickoff and get the ball for the first time in the football game. Trotz will kick it away. Damian Martin, Charles Anthony are deep for the Falcons. 6-0 Hawks. Trotz kicks it away. Good kick. Going to be fielded across the way by Farmington's Martin. Martin finding a seam out to the 30-yard line, and he's going to be brought down by a trio of Hawks at the 35. An outstanding return, 32 yards by Damian Martin. Farmington 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. So a good start for the Falcons on that kickoff return by Damian Martin. And solid field position for the Falcons. The ball just beyond the 35-yard line. Matthew Craven comes up under center for Farmington. He was 12 of 18 for 140 yards last week against Seaholm. Short drop, long pass. Got a man down the left side and just overthrown, intended for Jason Wilson. Wilson had a step or two on the Harrison defensive back, number 18, Chris Pride. But the ball, the pass by Craven, just a little bit too long. 2nd down and 10 for Farmington. Now they've marked the football right on the 35-yard line. It's a foot or two beyond the 35 on the first down play, and right now it's back on the stripe. Here comes the give to Wazmunski, and he gets nowhere. Kevin Wazmunski, the outstanding senior running back for the blue and white. 5'10", 200 pounds. And I misspeak, he's a junior running back, excuse me. I thought he was out there for senior night tonight. I had it in my mind that he was in fact a senior. The ball is essentially at the original line of scrimmage. It is 3rd down and a 10. Wazmunski, the only running back. There's a flanker screen caught by Devon Scarborough, and Scarborough's going to lose yardage on that play. He's tackled in the backfield, Scarborough is, for a loss of 3. 4th down and 13. Chapman making the tackle for Harrison. And so the Falcons will have to punt it away. 3 plays and negative yardage. What always makes you a little nervous when you see that lateral pass behind the line of scrimmage. Scarborough, in this case, really had nowhere to go. Number 43 for Harrison got there first. That's Tom Lujajar. Falcons kick it away. We're going to get a flag here. We're going to have a roughing the punter call as Marco Idarosa got the kick away. It's brought back out near the 50-yard line, but that flag back in the area of where the punt was released. Colin Clark ran into the kicker. And that was a 31-yard punt, returned 14 yards. But I think it's all going to be moot. Not sure if this will be the running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. It's roughing the kicker. That's a personal foul, a 15-yard penalty, and a first down for the Farmington Falcons. They're going to have to, not sure to be honest with you if this is a spot foul or if it's walked off from the last line of scrimmage. My best guess is that it's the last line of scrimmage, which would have been about the 32-yard line. As that the line of scrimmage on the third down play was the 32, following that flanker screen to Devon Scarborough. Actually, it was at the 35, and the play to Scarborough lost 3. I think the officials are trying to ascertain exactly where the line of scrimmage was on fourth down, as the chain gang had already left after the punt. They're going to walk it off from about the 32. That means it's going to come out to about the 47. Actually, let's call it the 48. So on that personal foul, Colin Clark ran into Farmington. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong side. That's Demario Black, number 8 for Harrison. Ran into the Farmington punter, number 3, Marco Idarosa. Idarosa's 32-yard field goal against Rochester last week. Actually, not against Rochester, but rather against Seaholm. Wound up being the winning points in Farmington's 10-0 victory. So Matthew Craven up under center. I formation. Wazmunski with the carry. Check it. Nino Jones on that carry for about 2. Nino Jones against Seaholm last week had his first career 100-yard game. 22 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown. His per carry average was 4.6 yards. We saw Nino Jones score 3 touchdowns as Farmington ended their about their 2-year long losing streak, 15-game losing streak, 2 weeks ago here tonight against Rochester. It's Jones in the I formation. The pitch is behind him. He picks it up on the carom, though, looking to outrun somebody deep in the backfield, but he slammed it to the turf by Dominic Marcotti. And Jones with a big loss as he's brought down at about the 35-yard line. That's a loss of 15 for Farmington. And it is 3rd and 23 for the Falcons after the 15-yard loss. Craven's pitch was high and behind the running back, Nino Jones. Worst of all, that's going to go into the books as the 15-yard rushing loss for Jones. So if he's going to get a 100-yard football game tonight, he's going to have to really work at it. Give to Jones. Boy, he just got pounded at the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the tackle, number 2, Donnell Davis for Harrison. And he stuck him pretty good. They'll actually give him a gain of 1, but it's 4th down and 22 for Farmington. Nice defensive play by the hard-hitting Donnell Davis. Idarosa back to punt it away again for Farmington. So the Falcons unable to take advantage of the break. Number 5, Brown, is deep for Harrison along with number 13, Coleman. Going to be Brown letting it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and Harrison will begin their second possession of the football game right there. There is a flag, however. So Farmington had good field position at their own 48-yard line. And they ultimately wind up losing 13 yards back to the 35. Now we get an illegal substitution call here against Harrison. John Bechtel, the Falcon coach, trying to decide whether or not to take that penalty. He will not. Penalty is declined, and Harrison will start back at the 27-yard line. Hawks lead 6-0 here in the first quarter. There's 2:42 left to go in it. Nice crowd here on this cool early October evening. When I say a good crowd, I'm talking about a good crowd for both teams. Those visitors stands across the way, fairly full. Oh, here come the Harrison Hawks to the line of scrimmage. We take a look at that Harrison crowd, or at least a portion of it. Their Hawks have the lead. We mentioned these two teams have met 24 times all time, and 11 of those 24 have resulted in a Harrison shutout victory. All told, in 16 of the previous 24, the Hawks have held at Farmington to 7 points or less. And as we say, they lead the all-time series 21-3. Robert Johnson on the carry for not very much yardage at all. In fact, he'll be credited with a gain of 1. Good work in the interior line by the Falcons. Stop Johnson for that 1-yard gain. I was on the phone this week with a good friend of mine who lives in Fort Worth, Texas, and we talk about a good crowd here on a Friday night. He said he was happy because he had been on the waiting list for 6 years. Get this, 6 years to get high school football tickets. Pelletier unable to come up with that pass by 80 at 35, and it's 3rd down and 9 for Harrison. Can you imagine that? A 6-year waiting list just to get high school football tickets. He tells me that the football stadium there in Fort Worth, I don't know, I didn't ask the name of the high school, but he said their football stadium cost $50 million. Made out of brick, says it has a jumbotron for replays, heated restrooms with TV monitors inside, TV monitors at the concession stands, and it costs $10 to park. I said, man, you guys got to start doing it the way we do it here. The receiver never did turn around for that pass by Edie, number 18, Chris Pride, who was cutting right down the middle. But before he turned around to look, that ball had hit him in the shoulder pads, and it goes incomplete. And so Harrison goes 3 and out. They only gained 1 yard on that possession. So the Hawks leading 6-0. We'll punt it away to the Falcons. Dropping back to receive, number 11, Jason Wilson. Joined back there by number 4, Devon Scarber. The punter for Harrison is Pelletier. $50 million football stadium for high school kids. Can you imagine that? A good Pelletier punt, and it's fielded by the up man for Farmington, returned out to the 50-yard line and beyond by Jason Wilson. And the Falcons will start in Harrison territory at the 48.
Wilson of Harrison.
At any rate, again, just talking about those Friday night lights down there in Texas, said each of his tickets cost $22. And it is $10 to park. And on top of everything else, you don't just sit in the bleachers. It's those bleachers that have the seat backs on them. So I thought that was all together. I asked him, how much are you paying the players? Are you kidding me? Craven rolling in trouble in the backfield, going to be brought down, sacked for a loss. As it was number 57 for Harrison, Idris Herring, 5'11", 240, a junior. And it's a 10-yard loss for Craven and the Falcons. 2nd down and 20 for Farmington. Herring with the sack for a loss of 10. At any rate, if you're catching the replay here and you want to come out and see the Farmington Falcons or the Harrison Hawks or the North Farmington Raiders, keep in mind tickets are $5 and parking is free, and you don't have to wait 6 years to get a ticket. I think we do it better here. Although I did like the idea of that jumbotron for the replay. Maybe we could just work that part of it out. I wonder if they ever have. I imagine their stats are probably a little bit better than we get sometimes here as well. We had that situation last week that was making me laugh when I asked one of the officials who number 56 was for Harrison, and he said, "We don't have a number 56." Well, he was out there. Ultimately, it turned out it's Claude James, and so our apologies to Claude and to Mr. and Mrs. James. But we'll try and get him identified properly tonight. Craven dropping, going to the long down the left side. Has a man caught down there. Caught by Sanders, caught by Wilson. And Wilson is going to score. Touchdown, Farmington Falcons. A 64-yard touchdown reception as Craven hits his man, Jason Wilson, in stride. Touchdown, Falcons, and a 6-6 tie with the point after pending. A beautiful throw. A beautiful throw by Matthew Craven. He put it right on the numbers. Hit Wilson in stride, and it's a 64-yard touchdown. How about that? Ottarosa in to attempt the extra point. The holder is Mitch Sanders. This to give the Falcons the lead. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 43 seconds left in the first quarter, touchdown Farmington, and take a look. This, everybody, is how you do this. Just a short two-step drop, and Craven got it away just before the pressure arrived, and there's Wilson with a step on the Harrison defender, Darius Davis, and that is a touchdown for Jason Wilson and the Farmington Falcons. And Farmington moves into a 7-6 lead here late in the first quarter. What a pretty play that was. Just beautiful. Wilson, a 5'11", 155-pound sophomore. There's some young talent on this Farmington team. Talk about their running back, number 28, Nino Jones, who had that 100-yard game last week. His first career 100-yard game. He's only a sophomore as well. The quarterback, Craven. Good size at 6'3", 171 pounds, and he's only a sophomore. So certainly, in terms of the skill positions, things look bright. The future looks bright for Farmington. And right now, things look bright for Farmington. They've got a 7-6 lead over the slightly stunned Hawks. Little pooch kick. That's a live ball down there, and it's going to either go out of bounds or be recovered by Harrison's Darius Davis, who just got burned on that touchdown throw. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hawks. They're going to spot that ball at the 35. Just jotting down the notes here for myself on that touchdown, the 64-yard toss from Craven to Wilson to put Farmington on top 7-6. Edie handing off, and Johnson picks up a yard, maybe two, right up the middle on what may be the last play of this first quarter. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Gorgeous bomb from Craven to Wilson. Johnson had to leap over his own offensive lineman, Chris Dubiel, number 78, and slowed him up a little bit. He picks up only a yard. 10 seconds to go here in the quarter. Some question whether or not Harrison will get this play off in time. They do. And we got a big stick is coming up from the secondary. Number 27, Danny Dudjovkov. And Coleman just got back to the line of scrimmage. Let's see, that was 21 Koopman on the stop. Let's take a look at it here before we go to the break at the end of the quarter. Coleman taking that handoff, and 21 was there, Koopman, and then 27 came in to wrap up Dudjovkov. At any rate, one quarter is complete here at Falcon Field with the score. The Farmington Falcons 7, the Harrison Hawks 6. Going to take a break and be back with more in just a moment.
I want to be a talk show host. I want to be on Broadway.
I want to be a doctor when I grow up. When I grow up, I want to be a singer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer.
When I grow up, I want to be a professional soccer player.
I want to be happy.
Told you it was a beautiful night here at Falcon Field. How about that crescent moon, and how about the work by our camera crew? The young people doing a great job as always. Boy, it's so pretty out. You don't even mind that it's a little bit cooler than it has been. It's just the natural order of things. There's a good shot of the Good Friday night crowd here at Falcon Field. And they're excited. Harrison has it. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9. They trail the Falcons 7-6 here as we begin the second quarter. It's Coleman. No, it's not Coleman. I got fooled. It's a pass to Johnson on the near right side, and Johnson down the sidelines into Farmington territory. And finally ridden out of bounds, but not until he gets to the Farmington 42-yard line. Leonard Wells finally came across and made that stop. But good play action in that backfield. I went for the fake to Coleman. But Edie had the ball in his hip, and he just fired it into the flat to his tailback, Robert Johnson. And Johnson gets good yardage, first down yardage. You see Leonard Welch, number 24, coming across to make that tackle. Ran over into the booth next to me, the scorers area, to ask how it is you pronounce the name of Farmington's number 27, Danny Duvukev, they tell me. But I was pointing at my roster, and I said, how do I pronounce this name? And he thought I was talking about number 28 for Farmington, who's Nino Jones. And I said, no, I think I can pronounce the Nino Jones. It's the one above it I'm having a little trouble with. But we'll work on that. Danny Duvukev. Been in on a couple of plays for the Falcons already. Incomplete pass for Harrison on 1st down. 2nd down and 10. The man literally didn't think I knew how to pronounce Nino Jones. I love doing these high school games. I got to tell you, I'm going to call that a loss of 3 as a matter of fact. And the ball at the Farmington 46. Just underway in the second quarter, and the Falcons on a 64-yard bomb from Craven to Wilson have taken a 7-6 lead over Harrison. Farmington hasn't beaten the Hawks since 77. Edie in trouble. Going to be brought down. Sacked in the backfield. That's number 8 for Farmington, Colin Clark, on the blitz out of the secondary. And it's a 7-yard loss on that sack. Good coverage downfield by the Falcons, and Edie didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. He's dropped for a loss of 7. Tell you what, that was a solid hit. A fine defensive play for Farmington. Under 10.5 to go in the first half. And 3rd down and long for Harrison. 3rd and 21. They're back on the Farmington side, on their own side of the 50-yard line now at the 47. And again, Edie being pursued. Pass to Johnson, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Number 27 was there for Farmington. That is Danny Duvukev. And number 24 was there for Farmington, Leonard Welch. And they stop Johnson on that screen pass for a loss. And let's take a look at this Farmington Falcon pursuit. Tell you what, they're a little bit fired up here. And why not? It's an intra-conference, intra-division, and intra-school district rivalry here between Farmington and Farmington Hills Harrison. Pelletier gets it away. He's going to let it bounce. It rolls dead at about the 20-yard line. So Farmington starts from there with 9:26 left in the second quarter. And the Falcons have a 7-6 lead. So Farmington has demonstrated here tonight that they've got the ability to make the big play. They can strike in moments. And remember, they're coming in with a 2-game winning streak. It's the first winning streak for Farmington in over 2 years. Last time they had a winning streak was in 2006. They had won 5 in a row and then lost their remaining 3 games that season. Did not win in 07. got off to a slow start this year to run their losing streak to 15, but now they've won 2 straight. Here's Nino Jones picking up 5 yards on first down. Jones, the sophomore, Craven, the quarterback, the sophomore. Young talent for the Falcons. Looking to turn this program around. Craven handing to the first man through. That's just going to be a gain of 1 or 2 as Aaron Norris was the ball carrier. And the tackle made by Dominic Bencotti. Just a dive play to the lead back, Norris, and not a lot there. Picked up a couple, 3rd down and 2. The Falcons would like to sustain a drive. Here's the give to Nino Jones, and he's into the secondary, and he picks up that first down yardage. Tackled out in the secondary by Chris Pride. And Chapman was also there, Max Chapman. First down Farmington as Nino Jones picks up 6. Falcons 1st and 10 at their own 34. That was good, hard running up the middle by Farmington's number 28, Nino Jones. That's what you like to see. Clock running with now just under 8 to go in the first half. The give again to Jones. This time Jones out past the 40 to the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 7 yards. How about that? Call it a gain of 6. And it's 2nd down and 4. Power running by Nino Jones. Leo Wilson, number 50, wrapping up. And it's a good thing he did, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Jones is off to the races. 2nd down and 4. Farmington's moving the ball here in the second quarter. Falcons lead 7-6 over the Hawks. Again, Jones into the pile, and not much there this time around. Just ran into a wall at the point of attack. Coming up from the secondary was Donnell Davis, number 2, to make the stop, among others. Take another look at it here. You see Jones just, there just wasn't a hole there that time. 3rd down and 2 for Farmington. Craven, the young quarterback, gets the play. And here come the Falcons to the line of scrimmage. Rich Kincaid and our TV10 crew, glad to have you with us here on this Friday night, or whenever it is you happen to be watching this game. That's Wozmunski. An off-tackle play, a misdirection run, but it only picked up a yard. And he's going to be about a yard short of a first down, maybe a little less than a yard. So it's 4th down for Farmington. I think the Falcons are going to go for it here. No, here comes the punt unit. Here comes the punt. They thought about it, I'll tell you that. They were thinking about going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 43-yard line. But just a little bit too big a gamble with that field position. Idarosa getting ready to punt it away for Farmington. Deep to receive, Sid Coleman of Harrison. He's standing at his own 20. And now the play stopped. And Harrison's going to call a timeout. So Harrison thought that they were going to go for it, but they don't. So timeout on the field, 7-6, Farmington in the lead, and we'll be back to Falcon Field in just a moment. Rich Kincaid back here at Falcon Field, where the Falcons lead the Hawks 7-6 on a lovely Friday evening. A perfect, quintessential Friday night for football, as the Falcons look for their first win over the Hawks since 1977. I always enjoyed looking up the statistics prior to these games, and find myself often looking at statistics in other sports. For example, I was doing a little research just for my own edification on the Dodgers-Cubs NLDS series, and I came across what may be the greatest stat of all time. Turns out the Cubs and Dodgers have met 2,024 times in the regular season in a series which dates back to 1890. We're getting a measurement down on the field. 2,024 times the Cubs and Dodgers have played, and the all-time series, at least heading into the NLDS, the all-time series between those two teams was a flat-footed tie, each club with 1,012 victories against the other. Can you believe that? What are the odds that you play over 2,000 times and have the series be tied? Falcons measured. Now are they going to call timeout? I think they are. Falcons will call a timeout. They measured, and they found out that Farmington, are only about a foot and a half shy of that first down line. So Coach Bechtel thinking about it again. Should we go for it at our own 44-yard line? With Farmington on top by a point, and that's thanks to Trace Brusco of the Falcons, the 5'8" senior wide receiver and defensive back, blocking Max Trotz's extra point after the touchdown run by Johnson of Harrison. So Harrison, instead of a 7-0 lead, with 6:18 left in the first quarter, had a 6-0 lead.
Farmington football Packers announce the arrival.
And so when Farmington scored on that 64-yard bomb from Matthew Craven to Jason Wilson, the extra point by Inarosa gave Farmington the lead. That's the lead they hold right now. Boy, you went back through the past scores of this series, and it just seemed like almost every year it was 55-0 Harrison, or 42-6 Harrison, or 35-0 Harrison. We told you that they're going to go for it on fourth down. It's Craven on the keeper. The quarterback sneak, and he sneaks to the 45, and it's close. It depends on the spot. They always tell you that, and it's always true. I think he got it. I don't know. Now I see the spot. It's a little shy of that 45. He did pick it up. First down. First down. So a good call and good execution, and the Falcons get the first down. 1st and 10 Farmington. The Falcon faithful are loving it. A lot of band parents in that group. I'm a band parent. I know those guys. There you go, band parents. So Farmington maintaining possession. This drive starting at their own 20-yard line. And that's Nino Jones for nothing. Again, trying the right side, and again, Harrison denying him any yardage at all. Wilson coming into the game for Farmington, as is Scarber. Coming off the field, Wazmunski and Aaron Norris. We take a look, or took a look a moment ago, at the stout Harrison defense. 2nd down and 10 for the Falcons at their own 45. Under 5 minutes to go here. Good to see everybody on this Friday evening at Falcon Field. Good to be seen. 2nd down and 10. If you still got the camera on me, you see I'm using the binoculars. We have a flag here. And it was thrown after the Farmington man. Scarber went in motion, but it had nothing to do with that. It's a delay of game call against the Falcons. Little 5-yard penalties make all the difference, don't they? Instead of 2nd and 10, 2nd down and 15 for Farmington. Clock stopped with 4:39 left to go here in the second quarter. Falcons clad in the home blue and white, moving from our right to left. Harrison defending. Their white jerseys and the yellow pants with the green trim. Really don't have to say that with the game being in color and all. I don't think there are any more black and white televisions out there. Boy, Scarborough in trouble in the backfield. To the 30, trying to find a seam down the sideline, and he's drilled out of bounds out near the 40. And on that reverse, Scarborough did a great job just to get back to near the original line of scrimmage. Probably ran 35 yards on that play. You take a look at the tail end of it. He did a great job, number 4 Scarborough did, to not be tackled for a loss of major proportions. He winds up picking up a yard, and it's 3rd and 14 for the Falcons. Farmington taking the gamble and going for it on their own side of the 50-yard line. But now, 3rd and long, or else the drive stalls. Oh, Craven hit hard as he released. They're going to call it an incomplete pass. Boy, he just got hammered by Leo Wilson. And Craven, a little woozy as he gets to his feet. Boy, he just got hit blindsided as Wilson got to him. So it's an incomplete pass, and it's 4th down, and the Falcons are going to have to kick it away. Keep an eye out for number 50. He's going to come from the backside right there, and he just drilled the Falcon quarterback, Matthew Craven. Iadarosa dropping back to punt. Coleman and Brown to receive, and we get a flag before the ball is snapped. 7-6 Falcons. Rich Kincaid here along with our TV10 crew. Personal foul. No, it's an illegal substitution, excuse me. It's only a 5-yard penalty. If they had it been a personal foul, that would have been a first down because it's 4th and 14. Now 4th and 9. Of course, the Falcons will still kick it away. Line of scrimmage is the Farmington 46. Iadarosa, a bit of a high snap, gets a good kick away. Here's Coleman receiving at his own 26, trying to cut back up the middle. Is brought down at about the 34. So Coleman on the return, and a nice tackle by Farmington's number 27, Duvukev, Danny Duvukev. Duvukai. We will, I promise you, get that name right before the end of the night. Danny Duvukai. My problem is that it's spelled D-E-D-V-U-K-A-J. And your North American announcers are not really used to seeing the consonant combination, a D followed by a V. Duvukai. Rolls off the tongue nicely, though, once you get the hang of it. Marcel Eady under center for Harrison. And a good, stout effort by that Farmington defense. And no gain, maybe a loss on that play on the give to Everett Howland. We'll say no gain. 2nd down and 10. Just gets stuffed as he gets to the point of attack. Nowhere to go. And look at, was that number 52 for Farmington? I think it was. Simon Candleoff just driving him back. Then again, it may have been 55 for Farmington. Not on my roster. Eady bounces a pass across the way intended for Brown. So that's incomplete. 3rd and 10. Third and 10 for Harrison. We saw them last week in their victory over Groves, and they had difficulty moving the football in the first half. Ultimately scored with just a matter of a few seconds left in the half for a 6-0 lead on route to what turned out to be a relatively easy victory, 21-6 over Groves. But Harrison here tonight moved very effectively in their opening possession, a 55-yard scoring drive. But not much since. Now Eady, his pass completes it across the way to Pride. Pride near the first down marker, but he's going to be spun down and dropped by number 27, Duvukai. So it's a gain of 8, and it's going to bring up 4th down and either a short 2 or a long 1. But no decision for Harrington. He's going to kick it away with 2:20 left to go in the half and the clock running. Dropping back for Farmington, number 4 Scarborough, number 11 Wilson. Pelletier, the punter for Harrison. Falcons lead 7-6. That's a surprising score. High snap. Pelletier handles it. Just does get it away. Wilson on the run at his own 21-yard line and wrapped up and tackled immediately. A great open field tackle by number 58, Anthony Clayton. And the Falcons backed up just a little bit at their own 16, a 41-yard kick. Nice punt by Pelletier, and I'll tell you what, that young man's got quite the leg on him. We've seen a lot of good punts from number 4, Steve Pelletier. But I'll tell you, the play on that was that tackle by Harrison's Anthony Clayton, as he was there to track down and wrap up and dump Wilson. Falcons take over with 2:01 left in the half. They are at their own 17-yard line. They have a 1-point lead in this football game. Falcons trying to beat Harrison for the first time in 31 years. Craven up under center. Here comes the pitch to number 30 for Farmington, and he's going to be brought down by DeMario Black, the running back for Farmington. Oh, it's Nino Jones again, 28. Not sure where my number 30 came from. Now nobody's quite sure who the ball carrier was on that one. Sure looked like number 30 to me. I have a 30 on my Farmington roster. We'll get it squared away. Right now it is 28 Nino Jones in that backfield. Craven under center. Sanko in motion. Craven straight drop, going to try the left side again for Wilson, and it may have been tipped away at the last moment on the defensive play by the defensive back for Harrison, Darius Davis. He may have gotten a hand on it. Take a look right here. Oh, well, he might have. That was another close call, as the Falcons almost connected on another long one between the quarterback, Craven, and his wide receiver, Jason Wilson. As it is, 3rd down and 10 for the Falcons. Saw the clock a moment ago, stopped with 1:15 left in the first half. Wilson gives it to Nino Jones, and Jones out beyond the 20. Picks up 4, and Harrison immediately calls a timeout. That's their second. And it comes with 1:08 left to go. Jones trying to pick up a first down on 3rd and 10. And he gets about 4. So let's stand aside on the timeout. Falcons lead the Hawks 7-6. We'll be back with more right here on TV 10.
Want to find out how to catch all your favorite games on TV 10? First, go to the Farmington Public Schools website. Then scroll down and click on the TV 10 link. Then click on the link for the month that you're in. And then Shazam, it's right at your fingertips. All the games that you want to see and whichever day and time they're on. It's that easy, folks. And don't forget to check out all your favorite sports games on TV 10.
John Bechtel, the Farmington Falcon coach, wants to make sure he's got the right personnel in there for this punt. 1:08 left to go in the half, and the Falcons cling to a 1-point lead. Adarosa back to kick it away. Coleman and Brown to receive for Harrison. They kick it to Coleman's side. He'll receive it about the 46. Reverses his field, cuts up the middle, runs into his own man. Now he's in trouble and spun to the turf at the 47.
On the tackle for Falcons, number 30, Eric Norris. That was a 2-yard return.
2-yard return when all was said and done. The tackle was credited on the PA system to number 30 Norris, but it sure looked like number 38 for Farmington, who does not appear on our roster. So another one of those situations where we will try to figure out who the young man is, and we'll get that information to you. Harrison starting on the Farmington side of the 50-yard line. They're at the 48. They trail it 7-6. Edie out of the gun. Has time. The long bomb down the right side, trying to get it to Ken Brown. Broken up on a brilliant defensive play by Devon Scarborough.
On the guard for the Falcons, number 4, Scarborough. Pass is incomplete.
Well, that was a great play by Scarborough. He's given away inches big time to Brown. Brown going 6 foot and 175 pounds, and you see Scarborough there to break it up. Scarborough only 5'6". So he's half a foot shorter than the receiver, and he was able to stay close enough to him to break up that pass as Edie put it right on the money. Again, Edie out of the shotgun. Now 48 seconds left in the first half. Edie dropping. Blitz coming. Avoids the trouble. Now about the line of scrimmage in traffic and going to be brought down after a gain of 3 yards. Last man, we get Harrison calling their final timeout. Leonard Welch making the tackle for Farmington. And it's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the Harrison Hawks. They burn their 3rd and final timeout right here. 38 seconds left to go. Another shot of the crowd on the home side of the field. And the Falcons have the lead. Harrison leading the all-time series 21-3. This is the 25th time all-time that the Falcons and the Hawks have met in a series which dates back to 1971. Last Farmington victory came in 1977. Well, while we have a moment, let's not forget that on January 31st and February 1st, the combined school district community play will be performed. It's The Odd Couple by Neil Simon. It will be presented at North Farmington High School and will be part of the 24-hour telethon to raise money for the school district and community musical, which lost its funding 2 years ago. Now, the play will feature actors from past musicals. The telethon will show the entire performance again in the early morning hours, as well as past musicals. Stay tuned to TV 10 for more information. 3rd down and 6 for Harrison. Edie out of the gun. Man in motion is Pride. Edie with time, looking to go long down the right-hand side, and Scarborough right there to intercept for Farmington. Now Scarborough starts down the left near sideline, all the way out near midfield before he's shoved out of bounds with 27 seconds to play. He brought it all the way back to the original line of scrimmage. And the Falcons, on that interception by Scarborough, are going to start out near midfield. 38-yard return by Devon Scarborough. Well, we saw Scarborough with a big pick against Rochester a couple of weeks ago, and we see him with a nice interception here. As Edie overthrew his intended receiver by a wide margin. He overthrew it, and it was almost like a punt return for Scarborough. Falcons are in Harrison territory at the 49. Craven is in trouble, gets his pass away, and it's incomplete. Trying to hit Wilson in the flat. He's actually just trying to get rid of the football as he was being pursued heavily by Colin Clark and others from Harrison. That will bring up 2nd down with 22.5 seconds to go. Falcons with a 7-6 lead. And yes, they've got 3 timeouts, and they'd love to get more points on the board if they could. You just don't want to do anything foolish here and turn the football over and have Harrison come back and take that lead away from you before the half. Craven out of the gun. The snap was almost too high for him. The blitz is coming. Here's a nice call on the screen, and a flag comes flying in. As Wozmunski was the receiver, he has 1st down yardage, but let's see about the flag. Wozmunski down to the 37 or thereabouts. Davis making the tackle. That would be Donnell Davis, number 2, as opposed to Darius. And the officials confer. Maybe a blocking violation against the Falcons. Let's wait and see. But Wozmunski had 1st down yardage. But they're going to walk it back against the, no, it's defensive holding against Harrison. So let's see what the Falcons want to do as we take a look at Wozmunski being brought down by Harrison's Donnell Davis. And he was down about the 37-yard line. The infraction apparently occurred out at about the 41. 14.8 seconds left in the first half. Now the line of scrimmage, the spot at which Wozmunski was tackled, is the 37. And it would be a first down, but without the penalty. They're apparently having some. Okay, they're going to decline the penalty. They'll take the play. A 12-yard gain for Wozmunski on the screen pass from Craven. And 1st and 10 Farmington at the Harrison 37, and now the Falcons call a timeout. So the Falcons leading 7-6. If they could pick up, well, that's hard to say. Hard to say how many yards. You just don't know the range of the Falcon place kicker, Marco Iadarosa. I did hit the 32-yarder in the Falcons' victory last week, which means that the line of scrimmage would have been about the 15, right? Take the 15, you add 7 yards to spot the ball for the field goal attempt, which would be about the 22, and then 10 yards, of course, for the end zone. So for a 32-yard kick, he has to get to the 15. I can't imagine his length, his range is much more than that. Maybe he's good. Maybe he can hit a 40-yard, in which case they'd have to get it down to, say, the 23. And right now they're at the 37. With 14 seconds to go, 2 timeouts left for Farmington. I'm sorry, the scoreboard says 1 timeout left for the Falcons. It's first down. So you're thinking if they could complete a 15-yard pass or thereabouts, they'd be at about that 40-yard range. And Craven from the shotgun, flanked by Wozmunski. Dual wides split to the near side, Scarber and Wilson. Craven with time, down the left side, had a man, and a nice defensive effort by Darius Davis of Harrison. Scarber looked like he was open, but Darius Davis leapt and got his fingertips on it. Now we're down to 10.2 seconds left to go in this first half. See Craven stepping into his throw nicely. See how Scarber appeared to be open, but number 19 for Harrison, Davis was there to knock it away. Darius Davis, a 6-foot senior. Same offensive alignment as the play before. Wilson and Scarber split near left side. Craven throwing this time to the right side. There's nobody there for Farmington. So that goes incomplete with 3.3 seconds left to go in this half, in this first half. So it is at this point that you try something like a Hail Mary pass, don't you? Because the half will end on this play unless there's a defensive penalty. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Farmington Falcon High School Marching Band. I know they've got a good show planned for you. Craven going to tuck it under and run, and this play will end the half as Craven dances out of bounds. So the Falcons have acquitted themselves well. Your score at halftime at Falcon Field, the Farmington Falcons 7, the Farmington Hills Harrison Hawks 6. We'll take a break and come back with our halftime activities in just a moment right here on TV 10.
Green. They are seniors Lisa Yetter, Natalie Rassick, Val Glad, Marla McCarthy, Nicole Enthusiast, juniors Kelly Potter, Sarah Hewlin, Claire Fisher, Laura Konzitsky. And sophomores, Kim Hay, Katie Santino, Rebecca Russell, Autumn Kiles, Allie Piernan, Elizabeth Salmonson, Ashley Steinleski, Sarah Cole, Allie Drews, and Alyssa Moore. Let's have a big hand for your 2008 Farmington Varsity Pom-Pom Team.
Apart if you give them the chance. Don't sell your heart, don't say we're not meant to be. Run, baby, run, forever will be. Run, baby, run, don't ever look back. They'll tear us apart if you give them the chance. Don't sell your heart.
Put your hands together and let's hear a big roar for our 2008 Farmington Varsity Pom-Pom Team.
Falcon Marching Band is proud to present for your halftime entertainment music from the Columbia TriStar film Mask of Zorro. When a power-crazed despot schemes to buy California from Mexico, it takes two Zorros, the legendary Don Diego de la Vega and his chosen successor, a dashing bandit turned hero, to defeat the tyrant's unscrupulous plans. But can even their combined skills be enough to achieve De La Vega's ultimate goal? Revenge against the man who killed his wife, kidnapped his daughter, and held him prisoner for 20 years. We feature James Horner's memorable score and feature Connor Heinley on baritone and Chelsea Carr on trumpet in Mask of Zorro. Senior Drum Major Linnea Anderson and Junior Drum Major Sam Peters, is your band ready? Very well, the field is yours.
Diego reaches his end as he exacts his revenge. The band now performs the touching ballad, Diego's Goodbye. final movement showcases each section in the band. Our show concludes with the exciting sounds of the finale. The Falcon Marching Band would like to thank the following individuals for their contributions to our show. Guard Design, Emily Palmer. Instructional Staff, Color Guard, Emily Paler.
Second half kickoff here at Falcon Field. Farmington on top, 7-6, and they're going to start deep in their own zone as Charles Anthony is dropped immediately way back at the 12-yard line. So Farmington on top, 7-6. The Hawk faithful are here. Not used to seeing their team trailing at halftime, especially not used to seeing their team trailing to Farmington at halftime. It was a year ago that Harrison beat Farmington 35-0. So Craven up under center. And the pitch on the near side to Nino Jones, and he's out to the 16 before he goes out of bounds. Leo Wilson, number 50 for Harrison, there to make that stop. I'll call it a gain of 3 out to the 16. So 7-6 Farmington. I hope you enjoyed that halftime show with what we can now call the award-winning Farmington Falcon High School Marching Band. Falcons were the second-place finishers at the Trenton Marching Band Invitational last Saturday. Had a great time out watching them perform, along with about 16 other bands. The pass goes incomplete. The intended receiver, Sanko, on that pass from Matthew Craven. But at any rate, my first marching band competition, and I got to tell you, after the first 3 or 4 bands, you start waiting for the second half to begin. But we had a great time, and Farmington placed second in their flight, got a beautiful trophy out of the deal. And it turned out to be their first victory in that particular competition, at least their first award in that particular competition dating back to 1989. Here's Craven on the third down play. They're going to try a reverse to Scarbird. He's horse-collared back in the backfield and dropped it about the 10. And the Harrison player who made the tackle is a little slow getting up. That's Leo Wilson, number 50. So Wilson is down, and they'll stop the play here. And Farmington will face 4th down and 13 back at the 10. But it was a situation at that competition last Saturday at Trenton High School where after the Farmington band had performed, I said to one of the other parents, you know, I tell you what, I'm just so proud of the kids. I thought they did a great job. I don't even care if they win an award. And then when the award ceremony came around, they announced the winner of the 4th place finisher, and it wasn't Farmington. And I turned to my wife and I said, yes. And then they announced the 3rd place finisher, and it wasn't Farmington. And I said, yes, right, I don't care, right? And then they announced 2nd place, and it was Farmington, and you felt good that they finished 2nd, but part of you still was hoping for 1st place, of course. But we're very proud of that Falcon marching band. And I'll tell you what, I thought that was the best performance they've given to date right here on this field tonight. And they had a tough act to follow. Those Farmington Pom Pond girls did a great job as well. But at any rate, back to football now as the Farmington Falcons lead the Harrison Hawks 7-6. So Farmington is going to go 3 and out on their first possession of this 3rd quarter. And Iaderosa will punt from his own end zone. Coleman and Brown back for Harrison. Line of scrimmage is the 10. As Iaderosa gets a perfect snap, gets his kick away. Coleman near side at about the 43. Cuts to the middle, slipped down at the 35, and then gets buried. But it's going to be a short field for the Hawks. They'll start at the Farmington 35. Norris among those on the tackle for Farmington. So Harrison at the Farmington 35. Harrison scored on their first possession of the game as they completed a 55-yard scoring drive on a 3-yard touchdown run by Raymond Johnson. But the Falcons shut him down from that point on. First possession of the second half, and that Farmington defense coming up big once again. Number 27, Danny Dufa. Excuse me, I lost my pronunciation on Danny's name. Duvakai making that stop, filling the gap. Duvukai. We're going to have to learn how to pronounce that name the way the young man's playing tonight. Stop Johnson for a gain of 0. 2nd down and 10. Falcons 7, Hawks 6 as we're just underway here in the 3rd quarter at Falcon Field. Marcel Eady, 3 men in the backfield, fakes the handoff to Johnson, rolls left, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Coming up from the secondary, the blitzing Colin Clark, the senior defensive back, coming up with that stop. And that's going to be a big loss on the sack, a loss of 7. 3rd down and 17 for Harrison. They're going to say officially a 6-yard loss. 3rd and 16. A great play by Farmington's number 8, Colin Clark. So Harrison had the short field, but now they've got a long way to go on 3rd down. 16 yards, and Edie will work from the shotgun. Donnell Davis in the backfield with him. A lot of time for Edie. Goes underneath, completes it, and it's close to 1st down yardage on the pass to Chris Pride. Close to the 1st down. As Pride was brought down at the 26, just outside the 25, and that's close. It may be close enough to measure. No, they're going to say 4th down and 1. And the Hawks will go for it here. So the 15-yard completion from Edie to Chris Pride, the junior wideout. And it's 4th and 1 for Harrison. Tell you what, if you're going to pull a big upset, you have to make a big play in a situation like this. Edie under center, the give to Johnson. He's going to pick up that first down. He's shoved back, but his forward progress will bring him to the 24, enough for the first down. He was met again by Dulukai and also by Patrick Cooper. But Johnson able to bull ahead to pick up about a yard and a half, and that's all he needed for the first down. So Harrison keeps the drive alive at the Farmington 25. We just went under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Farmington 7, Harrison 6. Edie up under center. Fakes the handoff to Johnson. Looking to go to the end zone. Has a man just out of the reach of his intended receiver. I think that's not Pride. That's number 16, Jalen Kelly. And it's just incomplete.
On the coverage for Farmington, number 11, Wilson.
Well, Wilson was on the coverage, but
2nd and 10.
Kelly had a step or two on him as we see Edie, number 7, the Harrison quarterback, rolling. Defensive pursuit coming, but Edie gets it away. And you see the receivers open, but pass was too far. 2nd and 10. Harrison at the Farmington 25. Good look at that Falcons sideline. They've got to be excited. Farmington has lost 17 in a row to Harrison. Haven't beaten him in 31 years, but they've got the lead here tonight. As the Falcons, who began the year at 0-3, have won their last 2. Long count by Edie. Just a rollout to his left. Fires it into the slot, complete down there. Caught by Brown about the 13. And on that catch by Kenneth Brown, it's another first down for Harrison. They move the sticks again. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the Farmington 14. This is very much reminiscent of Harrison's first drive tonight, that 55-yard scoring drive, where on one occasion they had 2nd down and 17, on another 2nd down and 16, but wound up converting both, kept their drive going, and they've done the same thing in this drive. Remember, there was a big sack on Edie earlier on. Boy, we had a Farmington man in the backfield, almost disrupted the pitch to Johnson, and Johnson, I don't think he quite got back to the line of scrimmage. Number 55 was right there for Farmington to disrupt that play. Koopman ultimately making the tackle. Got some help from Nadolski. And look at that stick at the line of scrimmage. Then that Farmington defense just piles on. A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11 for Harrison. Clock running with 7:30 to go here in the third quarter. The up back is Donnell Davis. The tailback is Johnson. They fake to him. Edie rolling, throwing into the end zone. Has a man in the corner of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. Kenneth Brown with Scarber on the coverage, and Scarber broke it up. 3rd down and 11 for Harrison. And again, great defense by Devon Scarber. We saw him with a pass breakup in that first half and an interception in the first half. And here's Edie rolling, throwing, and Brown had it momentarily, but you see that ball coming free before he's able to maintain possession in the end zone. And Scarber right there to help that process along, help jar that ball free. 3rd down and 11 for Harrison. They're at the Farmington 14. Edie from the shotgun. Takes a look, again firing to the corner of the end zone, deflected, and almost intercepted by Wozmunski, number 29. Pass was intended for Pelletier, but it was broken up. I'll give Wozmunski credit for the breakup. Let's take a look here. It was Wozmunski who had the chance to intercept. It was actually broken up by another one of the Farmington defensive backs. So 4th down and 11 And Pelletier is going to come on to try a long field goal. The spot with Edie holding will be the, let's wait and see. Pelletier is tying his shoe. You're going to have to call timeout. Pelletier can't get his shoe tied. Or perhaps he didn't have a tee. They've got to get this thing snapped quickly. Edie the holder. Boy, it seems like a long time has gone off the clock. It's going to be a 31-yard attempt. Good snap. Kick is up. Got a lot under it, and it's good. It's good. So Steve Pelletier with a 31-yard field goal. And Harrison takes the lead 9-7. Boy, I'll tell you, it took a long time for Harrison to get that play away. We were almost expecting a delay of game flag, which of course would have made it a 36-yard attempt. But I'll tell you what, as far as Pelletier kicked that one, I don't think it would have mattered. But Pelletier got out there, and I thought he was having trouble with his shoe, which he may have been, but then he discovered he didn't have his kicking tee. So they threw that in from the sideline, got the snap away in good order. And so Harrison able to take advantage of the short field as they began that drive at the Farmington 35. And Pelletier finishes it with a 31-yard field goal, and with 7:03 left to go in the third quarter, it is Harrison 9, Farmington 7. And Pelletier will kick it away. Pelletier to kick it away, and Scarborough back along with Wilson for Farmington. A bit of a short kick, going to be fielded by the up-back Evola. And Evola, he has an opening. He finds a seam. He's out to midfield, a foot raced out, trying to get around the kicker. Pelletier going to be dragged down, but not until he's inside the Harrison 40. Brian Evola with a beautiful return. 52 yards on the return, and now the Falcons have the short field. They'll start at the Harrison 38.
The ball is spotted at the Harrison 39-yard line.
So Farmington first and 10 at the Harrison 38 as we take another look at Brian Evola finding the crease and turning on the Jets. And only the kicker, Pelletier, there to slow him up, which he did. And Kenneth Brown, number 5 for Harrison, came across and made that stop. First down carry
Brought down by number 26, Success.
by Wozmunski, and that picks up 8 yards. Second down at 2 with the ball at the Harrison 30. Clock running with 6:30 left to go here in the third quarter. Harrison just took the lead, retook the lead on a field goal by Pelletier. Harrison scored first for a 6-0 lead, had their point after blocked. Falcons came back to score on a 64-yard pass from Craven to Wilson. Then the field goal by Pelletier here in the third as Nino Jones carries. Does he have first down yardage? He does. Take another look at this carry by Nino Jones, the sophomore. Only needed a couple, and he falls forward for the first down. Young Falcon fans excited on a lovely Friday night here in Farmington. Gorgeous Friday night. Getting cooler, but it's October now. Clear skies, and earlier on we got a great shot of the gloaming, if you will, and the moon rising. And the Falcons trying to move back into the lead here at Falcon Field. Scarborough in motion. Craven going long down the middle. Man wide open! Touchdown! Touchdown Farmington on the catch by Mitch Sanders, diving, falling into the end zone. Touchdown Farmington Falcons, and they lead 13-9. 28-yard pass from Craven to Sanders. And the Falcons, just like that, retake the lead. It all started with Evola's 52-yard kickoff return, and the Falcons turn it over into points in short order. They started with the short field, This drive beginning at the Harrison 38, and the Falcons will call timeout right here, leading 13-9. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with, well, we don't know if it'll be a 1-point or a 2-point try. We'll find out when we return right after this on TV 10.
I want to be a talk show host. I want to be on Broadway.
I want to be a doctor when I grow up. When I grow up, I want to be a singer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer.
When I grow up, I want to be a professional soccer player.
I want to be happy.
Well, we can't stress that enough, can we? Dream big when you're in high school, or dream big when you're on the football field and you're a Farmington Falcon. And you've just taken the lead over Farmington Harrison. 13-9. Farmington leading. And the Falcons will go for two.
Here's the Farmington offense.
Craven under center. Got three in the backfield. The tailback is Nino Jones, gets the carry, tries the right side, not going to get in. Stood up by Donnell Davis at the goal line. So the 2-point attempt fails, and the Falcon lead is 4. Farmington 13 and Harrison 9. Touchdown coming with 5:46 left in the third. A 28-yard pass from Matthew Craven to Mitch Sanders. So Craven with touchdown passes in this game of 64 and 28 yards to account for that, and one extra point to account for the 13 Farmington points.
And Orchard Lake Roads, half a mile from Farmington Field. The admission is only $10 for adults, $5 for children.
The Falcons lead it by 4. Remember, they've lost 17 straight to Harrison. All time in this series, entering tonight, Harrison had outscored Farmington, get this, 704 to 167. And Harrison with an all-time lead in the series of 21-3. That's how dominant the Hawks have been. And now in the third quarter, past midway through the third, the Falcons have the lead. A bit of a pooch kick, and be fielded by Harrison, and a nice job on that tackle by number 27, Duvukai of Farmington, as that was the running back, number 20, Raymond Johnson, who picked up that short kickoff. And I'll tell you what, he had a head of steam built up, and Duvukai with a sure tackle at the 36-yard line. If he doesn't make that stop, Johnson might be off to the races. Take a look at him. Duvukai just hanging on for dear life and making a fine football play right there. 5:41 to go in the third. Falcons back on top. So Harrison got the field goal from Pelletier to regain the lead, and the Falcons answer right away. Marcel Edey under center. Man in motion is Pelletier. Play action. No, that's a handoff to Johnson, and Johnson stopped for a loss. Colin Clark, number 8, coming up to stick Raymond Johnson. Dropped him for a loss of 1. Keep an eye out for number 8 right about there, and another sure tackle. That's good technique, and that's good coaching. Good execution, of course. But it tells you they are teaching the fundamentals well here at Farmington. 2nd down and 11 for the Harrison Hawks. I formation. Edey's going to throw. Left side, finds Pelletier, trying to get past Wilson. Did. Oh, Pelletier's going to score. Tell you what, he was able to elude the tackle of Jason Wilson. It's a touchdown for Harrison, a 65-yard touchdown pass, and the Hawks go back into the lead. 65-yard pass from Edey to Pelletier. And with 4:52 left in the third, Harrison's back on top, 15-13. How about that? So now you think perhaps Harrison will go for 2 in the tie. But no. Max Protz is out there to try the extra point. Max Protz with Edie holding. High snap. Protz, though, able to get it away, and it's up and good. So, a seesaw affair now sees Harrison on top, 16-13. Pelletier over the left flat. Didn't look like too much of a problem at this point, but once Pelletier was able to get past Jason Wilson, he was off to the races down the sideline on what turns out to be a 65-yard Harrison touchdown. And the Hawks go back into the lead. That was a 7-6 ball game at halftime. And so far here in the second half, except for Farmington failing to score after taking the second half kickoff, every possession has resulted in points. There was no scoring in the second quarter. We have had Harrison outscore the Falcons 10-6 here in the third. And still almost 5 minutes left in the third, 4:52 to be exact. Just didn't really look like a dangerous play, that pass completion to Pelletier. But he beat the one man, and then it was just wide open down the sideline. And Pelletier, 6'3" senior wideout, has some speed. It's going to be Pelletier to kick it away here for the Hawks. Scarber back for Farmington, along with Damian Martin. Scarber from the 5. In traffic at the 20. Scoots free, but just for a moment. He's wrapped up and knocked down by Carl Sherman, number 28 of Harrison. And Mario Black was there for Harrison as well. In fact, it may have been at number 8, Demario Black, and not number 28 in point of fact. We'll try to amend the record accordingly. Oh, I see. It was 23 who got there first for Harrison. That's Dominic Mentati. 1st and 10, Farmington from their own at 20.
Number 28,
Jones for not much.
Number 2, Davis of Harrison. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Darius Davis stopping him for no gain. 2nd down and 10 for the Falcons. Well, they'll need to regain some momentum here. After they had just gone back in front on a drive which was set up by a 52-yard kickoff return by Brian Avola. It's Harrison scoring in sudden and shocking fashion. Craven wants to go long down the left-hand side. Is that pass caught? No, out of bounds. It was caught, but out of bounds. Wilson almost came up with that catch in bounds. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Wilson had to stop and come back for the ball, which was overthrown just a little bit. And you could see him dragging those toes along the sideline, but unable to keep one in bounds. 3:58 left here in the third. It's Kincaid at Falcon Field with our TV10 crew. A beautiful evening as the Hawks and Falcons do battle in this OAA White Division clash. Thought they wanted to throw a reverse to Scarber. It's a fake, a long pass down the sideline. Wilson tipped it away, and I'll tell you what, coming up on that play and almost coming up with the ball was Mitch Sanders. And had he come up with that carry, he might have been off to the races. Scarber almost ran into his quarterback, Craven, in the backfield, and then Craven fired long down the left-hand side. You'll see it right here. Jason Wilson, number 11, the intended receiver. Now watch number 13 coming up from the right-hand side after the ball caroms into the air. See, He almost came up with it at the 40-yard line. As it is, 4th down, and Farmington will punt it away. Flags everywhere. Let's see what we have here. 4th and 10 for Farmington. An illegal substitution against the Falcons will back them up 5. So now the line of scrimmage is the 15. That just means better field position for Harrison after the punt. Coleman is number 13. You see him in the foreground on the right-hand side. One of the deep men for Harrison. Ida Rose has a punt blocked. It's blocked by the Hawks. Now that ball loose on the turf, and a scramble ensues, and the Falcons say they have it. The question is, did Harrison have possession? I think they may have. Let's see. It also depends. Did Farmington, in fact, recover? I think it's going to be Harrison ball at about the 22. We'll see the ball bouncing right there. That Harrison man never did have possession of it, out near the 20, 22-yard line. And a discussion ensues. John Harrington, he's interested, of course, in the outcome. The only coach the Harrison Hawks have ever had. Big time discussion amongst the officials. They're all involved in it. At stake here is possession of the football at the 22-yard line. If Harrison had possession, then fumbled it away and Farmington recovered, it's Falcon ball. Now the official is going to explain it to Bechtel. I have a feeling that the Falcon coach doesn't like what he's hearing. I think they're going to give it to Harrison at about the 22, yes. So on the blocked punt, the ball winds up in Harrison's possession. See, once it's hard to, once the ball is blocked like that, it's a free football, and had Farmington fallen on it, which in fact they may have, they're still short of the first down. Had Harrison had possession and then fumbled, it would be Farmington ball. And that's what Bechtel's saying, that the Harrison man had the football and then fumbled it. But the official's saying that's not how we saw it. That was still a free ball. He touched it, but he did not have possession of it. So even if Farmington in that scenario recovers, they're still short of a first down. So it's spotted really at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Harrison. Now the Hawks just took the lead on their last possession on the 65-yard catch and run by Pelletier. Now they're deep in Falcon territory again, leading 16-13. And this is what we call a turning point in the football game. Johnson, room up the left side down to the 15-yard line for a quick gain of 5. Raymond Johnson on the carry. Mark him down at the 16. Gain of 5. 2nd down and 16. Clock running with 3:05 left in the 3rd. Harrison 16, Farmington 13. Edie, I formation. One receiver flanked to each side. Edie's going to throw underneath, and he skipped it well in front of his intended receiver, David Evans. So 3rd down, 5 to go for Harrison. The ball at the Farmington 16. If the Falcons could somehow come out of this situation only giving up 3 points, they could view that as a victory. Edie's punt was blocked. It was touched by a Harrison player, but they ruled he did not have possession of it. And even though a Farmington man wound up with the football, possession was awarded to the Hawks, and rightfully so. Pelletier, flanker screen left, got the first down. Hit by Wilson at the 10-yard line and driven out. But the line to make was the 11. So it's going to be 1st down and probably goal to go for Harrison. going to be either goal to go or the line to make is going to be inside the 1. I believe that's the case. It'll be first down and 10 with the ball spotted just outside the Farmington 10. So another big third down make for Harrison. They've had a few of those tonight. Man in motion is Pelletier, and a flag flies, a couple of them, in fact. We're down to 2:48 left in the third, and we get a procedure call against the Harrison Hawks. That backs them up to the 15. First and 15 for Harrison. They can make a first down without making a touchdown, but it'd be splitting hairs, as the line to make is inside the 1-yard line. So we'll see if that Falcon defense can stiffen here. Well, they almost have to after Harrison scored a few moments ago to retake the 5th lead change in this game. Edey handing to Johnson. Johnson slowed up in the backfield by Colin Clark, and he only picks up a couple of yards. Give him a gain of 1. And it's second down and 14. Edey across the way gets the play. As you saw, number 8 diving in there to make that ankle tackle for Farmington, Colin Clark. I formation for Harrison. Wides split each side. Edey's going to fake, now fire deep into the corner of the end zone for Brown. They leap for it, and it's broken up again. Scarborough there, number 4 for Farmington, after Brown had it in his hands. And then Scarborough knocked it free. So it's third down and 14 for Harrison. They lead 16-13. Good pass by Marcel Edey, and for the second time here in this third quarter, Brown had his mitts on it in the end zone, and Scarborough broke it up. Timeout going to be called right here by Harrison. They'll talk it over with 1:57 left to go in the third. Let's take a look at this pass by Marcel Edey. Going deep into the end zone for Kenneth Brown, and Brown had it, but right there again, as he has been all night long for Farmington, number 4, Devon Scarborough. Scarborough, a 5'6", 152-pound sophomore defensive back. He has played big tonight. He's played bigger than 5'6", I'll tell you that. I told you earlier, he's giving away half a foot to Kenneth Brown, who's a 6-foot senior split end. So on third down and 15, technically 14. Third down and 14 for Harrison from the 15, Farmington 15. Another big play in this football game. It's a close one. Harrison on top, 16-13. Harrison beating Farmington 35-0 last year. So it would be a moral victory for Farmington to keep this one close, but I'm not sure. In fact, I know for a fact the Falcons aren't interested in any moral victories on this Friday night. They want the kind of victory that you put in the win column. But they trail it by 3. The big play in the game so far, the pass, the 65-yard pass from Edey to Steve Pelletier that gave Harrison the lead. Harrison led 6-0. Farmington came back, led 7-6. Harrison took a 9-7 lead. Farmington came back to lead 13-9. And that pass to Pelletier, making it 16-13 Harrison. 5 lead changes tonight. Edey with time, now flushed, going to be dropped in the backfield. Another great play. 2 Falcons were right there to get it done. Andrew Clarahan, number 55. And once again back there for Farmington was number 8, Colin Clark. And that's a loss of 7 on the sack. And it's back to the 22-yard line. And it's going to be another field goal attempt here by Pelletier. He has to change into that kicking shoe. Then he's got to get that tee in position. The clock is running. I wasn't sure, but that he didn't get a little extra time the last time he attempted a field goal. This one's going to be from farther out. He connected earlier in the quarter from 28. Now this kick is up. It's a 38-yard attempt, and it's wide. So no points. No points for Harrison. After they took over 1st and 10 at the Farmington 20. That's a problem. You've got Pelletier, and you want him in there as a skilled wide receiver, but he's also the long field goal kicker for Harrison. That means he's got to change his shoe. He's got to put on the kicking shoe, and that takes time. And with the play clock running, things tend to get a little rushed at the end. Now, it didn't affect him earlier when he made that. I misspoke. It was a 31-yard field goal earlier in the third quarter. Here comes Nino Jones up the middle for Farmington, picking up 2. And 2nd down and 8. We're into the final moment of the third quarter of what has been a dandy here at Falcon Field. Let's check the schedule, see where we're going to be next week, shall we? I've sort of forgotten in all the excitement as Brown was chopped down right there at the line of scrimmage. The truck tells me we're going to be at Harrison. I love it when the truck tells me where we're going. Oh, my goodness. We're going to see Rochester Adams next Friday. Here's Jones up the right side, 1st down yardage and more. Out to the 37, 38-yard line. Nino Jones on the carry. 1st down, Farmington. A 13-yard run for 1st down by Nino Jones. So we're going to see Rochester Adams and Harrison next Friday night. Well, we will look forward to that one. Man, that Adams club is a powerhouse, but they almost got tripped up last week by Southfield. You look at Adams, the Highlanders this year have outscored their opponents. Get this, 246 to 101. 246 points. The next highest scoring team in the league is Southfield, and they've scored 168. So Adams has scored 88 more points than anybody else in the OAA White. Here goes Jones again, run out of bounds, out near the 40. Let's call that a gain of 4. Clock stopped with 9 seconds left in the third quarter. What a good game we've got going. Harrison 16, Farmington 13. But the Falcons moving the ball. They mark Jones out at the 39. The scoreboard tells us 2nd down and 5. To the naked eye, it looks like it might be 2nd down and 6. But let's go with the scoreboard. They're the professionals after all. High formation look here for the Falcons. 2 wide split to the near left side. Scarborough and Wilson. Little flanker screen. Is that ball live? Is that ball live? It is. It's recovered by Harrison. Recovered by Darius Davis. The lateral pass behind the line of scrimmage. We talked about it earlier. You worry every time you see it. And that one was intended for Scarborough. He couldn't come up with it. And it counts as a fumble. That's a live ball on the field. Take a look. Oh, boy, are you sure that was a backwards pass? At any rate, that was what they called, and if it was, and they're down on the field, not me, it wasn't by much. Scarborough couldn't come up with it, but number 19, Darius Davis, does for Harrison. So a huge turnover after Farmington looked to have momentum. And again, the short field for Harrison. Scarborough will be credited with a fumble, unfortunately. And Harrison takes over at the Farmington 32. The pitch going to Pride. Pride trying the left side, finding room down the sideline, inside the 10, inside the 5. It's going to be 1st down and goal to go for Harrison. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Time has run out, but when we return, Harrison knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Our score after 3. As we take a look at this replay, going to see the pitch here for Chris Pride, the junior 6-foot running back. And he's free down that sideline. Knocked out of bounds, but not until he is down to the 5-yard line. The man is going to show some spirit here and tell you what this crowd needs, firing up. So the lateral pass winds up being a fumble, recovered by Harrison. And they start at the Farmington 28. And on the first play, they pick up 23.
At the Farmington 5.
And it's first and goal for Harrison as we move into the fourth quarter. And in this fourth quarter, Harrison will move from our right to our left. It's a very still evening here in Farmington. Wind not a factor on those field goal attempts, or the passing attempts for that matter. But Harrison on top by 3 and knocking on the door as we begin the fourth quarter.
Let's go, defense! Let's go! Let's go, defense! Let's go!
Harrison outscoring Farmington 10-6 in the third quarter. And they lead. Here's Edie under center, high formation look. The give to Johnson. He's going to lose yardage. He was hit in the backfield and then taken down by Leonard Welch. I want to see the replay on this if we've got it to see who made that original stick. And it was not a question of forward progress for Johnson because he was bounced back off that hit and he was trying to regain his footing, and as he was doing that, he was moving backwards. It's a loss of 7 back to the 12. Called it a loss of 8 back to the 13. So Johnson loses 8 on first down. And it's first and goal from the 13-yard line. Original line of scrimmage was the 5. Same I formation look. Pelletier flanked to the left, Brown to the right. Quick drop by Edie, button hook pattern, and it doesn't find Brown. So that's incomplete, and it's third and goal for Harrison. You get a feeling here, even though we're early in the fourth quarter, that the whole ball game might be on the line right here. That if the Falcons can keep them out of the end zone, they're still going to be in this football game. The concern is that if they do not, then they won't be. Boy, I was proud of these Falcons 2 weeks ago when they rebounded from that shellacking by that powerful Adams team to come back and beat Rochester. They went on the road last week and shut out Seaholm. Edie under center, full house backfield. Fakes the handoff to Johnson, going to the end zone. Oh, and it's incomplete. Had his man wide open, David Evans. But Evans could not come up with it. So it goes to fourth down, fourth and goal at the 13. So you have to think you're going to see a field goal attempt right here by Harrison. And there's Steve Pelletier changing his shoe again. Play clock running. And a field goal attempt into the game for Farmington is number 20, Trace Brusco, who blocked an extra point back in the first quarter. Well, they're not moving too quickly. I believe we have a new holder out there for Harrison, Sidney Coleman, number 13. Keep an eye on that for a possible fake. Now the flag's thrown, and it is delay of game. Boy, I got to tell you, just to be honest with you, I'm not sure that couldn't have been called earlier on some of these Harrison field goal attempts. I could be wrong. It just seemed like it took a long time to set up for at least the first field goal attempt, the 31-yarder that Pelletier made. But that's just the sensation that I have. It's not like I'm up here with a stopwatch. So maybe I shouldn't say anything at all. But if I did that, we'd have dead air. What would be the fun in that? They are going to run a fake. Coleman, the holder, trying the right-hand side. Now he throws back into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Jason Wilson leapt and brought that one down. So Harrison comes away with no points. They ran that fake. The tip-off was that they changed their holder. Sidney Coleman was in there instead of the regular holder, the quarterback Marcel Edie. They ran a fake out of it. A pretty clever play, as it looked like Coleman was going to run around right end, but he pulled up and threw back across his body. Not buying it, though, was Jason Wilson of Farmington, and he intercepts in the end zone. A leaping one-hand grab by Wilson. Look at that. It's a beauty. And Harrison is denied. and the Falcons stay in the game. They trail by 3 and will start from their own 20. How about that? Craven, he fell down. He was pivoting to get in position to throw, and he just slipped on that turf, and he's down at the 13. Now they'll say the 15. Then they put the ball on the 14. All right, we'll get this thing squared away at some point. It's a loss of 6, though. Nothing to laugh about there. 2nd down and 16 for the Falcons. It's just I saw an official on the near side pointing at his foot, which he had planted firmly on the 15, and then they spotted the ball, as we say, on the 14. Once again, your announcer is confused. I'm thinking about not giving my name for the rest of the broadcast. How will that be? Craven up under center. Going to give it to Nino Jones on the right side. He's going nowhere. Leo Wilson, who was shaken up earlier in the ballgame, is okay now as he just drilled Nino Jones right at the line of scrimmage. Or I'm sorry, a gain of 5. I beg your pardon. The line of scrimmage was the 14, and Jones driven out of bounds at the 19. Watch for number 50, a Harrison, coming into your screen right there. Squares up, helmet-on-helmet contact, and Nino Jones is driven out of bounds. But he did pick up the 5. It's 3rd down and 11. More manageable than the 16 blitz coming. Craven got it away, and it's dropped. Dropped out there near the 35-yard line by Jason Wilson, who earlier on tonight caught that 64-yard touchdown pass from Craven. Boy, Wilson had 1st down yardage, but he's unable to come up with it. And the Falcons will have to punt it away with 10:01 left in the ball game. Harrison on top, 16-13. Idarosa dropping back to kick it away. Brown back to return along with Coleman. They kick it to Brown's side of the field. Fair catch at the 46. And it is from there that Harrison will begin this drive. So the Falcons, on the interception by Wilson, stop the Hawks, but are then unable to mount a drive as they go 3 and out. And it remains a 3-point Harrison lead here in the 4th quarter. We'll have to go back through the history books, through the logs, and ascertain precisely when we had a Farmington Falcon game that was this exciting. Still anybody's football game with 9:54 left to go in it. Harrison from their own 46. Johnson on the carry, right side for about 3. 51 on the tackle for Farmington, Nick Nadolski. Will officially go into the books as a 2-yard gain by Raymond Johnson. Coming in from the sidelines with the play for Harrison is number 15, Vince Salatino. Is Salatino in at quarterback? Did I miss a change? Yes, you did. Vince Salatino in at quarterback now. The up back is Everett Holland. I don't think he's touched the ball tonight. Man in motion, Pelletier. The give to Johnson, and Johnson's going to lose yardage this time. At the bottom of the pile for Farmington, Nadolski, Nick Nadolski, his 2nd straight tackle. So Vince Salatino, junior quarterback, good size, 6'3", 175, and at quarterback now for Harrison.
For Harrison, we do have a new quarterback, number 15, Vince Salatino.
Wondering if Edie was shaken up. Remember, he was not in the hold on that last field goal attempt, which turned out to be a fake. And now Salatino has replaced him at quarterback. Here's pressure coming, but Salatino gets it away, and boy, has he got a good arm. Launched it down the right side, but out of the reach of Ken Brown. It's incomplete. It's 4th down for Harrison. So they had great field position at their own 46 after the Farmington punt. They don't do anything with it. It's 4th down and 10. So Pelletier getting ready to punt for Harrison. Wilson and Scarber deep for Farmington. Falcons appear to be setting up for a return here. Pelletier, who's got a good leg, steps into this one, and Scarber inside his own 20, ran into his own man Wilson. He's going to be brought down inside the 20, although they'll give him forward progress to the 21. So the teams exchange punts after the missed field goal. I should say after the missed, well, how would you describe that anyway? After the fake field goal attempt by Harrison, the teams exchange punts. So Farmington, who started their last drive at their own 20, will start this drive at their own 21. Remember that last drive started with the quarterback Craven slipping in the backfield and losing 6 or 7 on the first down play. The handoff to Jones, and Jones is not going to go anywhere except for maybe a yard or two. 43 was there for Harrison Max Chapman. I think number 57 in the vicinity for the Hawks as well. As it was a sprint out play, and then Craven puts it in Nino Jones' belly. It was a good solo tackle for the Harrison Hawks. Craven up under center. Gonna throw long, gonna throw too long. As he was trying to hit Jason Wilson down the middle. But he overthrew, and it's 3rd down and 9. Falcons at their own 22 with 7:25 to go. Good looking arm on Craven. We saw him connect with Wilson earlier on in this football game for a 64-yard sprint. A little too much air under that one. So 3rd and 11. I'm sorry, 3rd down and 9. Craven gets the play from Coach Bechtel. Passes the word to the guys, and here we go. 3rd down for the Falcons. They've got 3 wides, split to the right, and everybody moved except the center. Didn't snap the ball. So we had a miscommunication. Literally everybody moved except the guy who was supposed to move the football. So procedure here against Farmington moves him back 5, and it's going to be 3rd down and 14. I hate to see that on a key 3rd down play. You're going to get that miscommunication from time to time. Now 2 wide receivers, Scarber and Wilson, split to the left. A little flanker screen to Scarber, and that's not going to pick up enough. Scarber is brought down at the 17, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, might have lost a yard. In any event, 4th down, and we'll say no gain, so 4th down and 14 for Farmington. They will kick it away with 7:05 to go. Scarber made the reception, but didn't have any blocking support. Ayaderosa with another punt for Farmington. He waits for the snap inside his own 5-yard line. Coleman, the lone man back for Harrison, and Ayaderosa didn't get a lot on this one. Got to hope for a bounce now, and it's going to go. Oh, he gets a great bounce. It stayed in bounds and rolls back to the 45-yard line. It winds up a 37-yard punt for Ayaderosa. Tell you what, he got a great hop, both in terms of the fact that it bounced deeper into Harrison territory and having landed right near the sideline, didn't just kick out of bounds. So Harrison from their own 45 with 6:35 to go, and you betcha the clock's a factor in this football game now. Harrison 16, Farmington 13. As the Falcons bid to put an end to a 17-game losing streak against Harrison. They had the lead in the second half. They're still in the ball game right now. Pelletier in motion. The quarterback continues to be Salatino. Salatino with an incomplete pass across the way. And it'll be second down and 10. Down to 6:29 to go. Here's Salatino rolling out, going underneath, but overthrowing Everett Holland. He was coming out of the backfield. Second down and 10. Browning split wide to the right. I should say Brown split wide to the right. Coleman in the slot on the right. High formation look. Going to give it to Coleman on an end around to the near left-hand side. And he'll pick up a couple, 3 yards. But right there for Farmington was Munson. He'll stop him for a gain of only 2. Third down and 8. As the clock runs here at Falcon Field in the fourth quarter. Just a beautiful fall night. This is everything that high school football is all about, at least at the level where you don't spend $50 million on your stadium, as we were talking about earlier in that high school football stadium down there in Texas with the Jumbotron for the replays. Long pass down the middle, up for grabs, caught. Complete down there across the way as it's hauled in by Coleman at the 22-yard line. Salatino, beautiful arm. Sanders made the tackle. Wait, there's a flag way back in the backfield. Personal foul, roughing the passer. So they're going to tack on yardage against the Falcons. It's a 30-yard completion. Salatino to Coleman. They'll say officially 31 yards. And now half the distance to the goal on top of that. As roughing the passer is called against Farmington. Nice throw, though, by young Salatino, the junior quarterback. And he hits Sidney Coleman. And I'll tell you what, Coleman just went up and got that one. So half the distance to the goal means 1st and 10 for Harrison at the Farmington 11. With 5:40 left to go here in the fourth quarter. So for the second time in this fourth quarter, the Falcons are going to be called upon to stand tall deep in their own zone. Remember, Harrison had a 1st and goal at the 5 earlier here in the fourth and did not get any points out of it. The Falcons are going to have to do the same thing right here. A touchdown for Harrison means a 2-score game. Johnson hit at the line and dropped. Beautiful hit by Wilson. Wrapped up. Johnson gets nothing and likes it. All right, they'll say a gain of 1. Spotted at the 10. Second down and 9. Watch for Farmington's number 11, Jason Wilson. Right there. Boy, face mask to face mask contact, and Wilson hangs on and brings down the hard to bring down Raymond Johnson. Clock working in favor of the Hawks. 4:45 left in the fourth. They've got the lead, 16-13 over Farmington. Salatino up under center, Coleman in motion. Salatino dropping to pass, a lot of pressure thrown into the end zone and incomplete. Chris Pride went up, couldn't get it, with Scarber on the coverage. And check that, it was number 16, Jalen Kelly, the intended receiver, not number 18, Chris Pride. Salatino, with the hit coming, let it go and overthrew his intended receiver. 3rd down and 9 for Harrison. That stops the clock with 4:31 left in the fourth. Don't forget, next Friday night, we're going to be back at Harrison as the Hawks take on Rochester Adams, the first place team in the OAA White. I'll let you know about the replay times of tonight's game in just a moment. Right now, 3rd down 9 and a flag at the snap. And a walk-off against the Hawks. We'll have the replay of tonight's game tonight at 11 o'clock. And tomorrow at 9, 3, and 8. On October 7th at midnight. On October 8th at noon and at 6. And on October 10th at 4 and 8 p.m. That's the replay schedule of this game tonight between Farmington and Farmington Hills Harrison. The ball back at the 15 now. 3rd down, 14 to go. Pride in motion. Salatino rolling. Pressure coming. Gets the pass away into the end zone, incomplete. And it's 4th down from the 15. And here comes the field goal unit for Harrison. Not sure Pelletier was on the field for that. No, it's going to be Max Trotz who attempts this one. This will be a 32-yard attempt. Max Trotz to attempt. Good snap. Kick is up. Plenty of distance. Boy, it's close and it's good. But that keeps Farmington in the football game. It's 19-13 now. So Farmington no longer able to tie with a field goal, but it remains a one-score game if the Falcons can take it down the field. Look at this leg by Trotz, but also watch how close this is to the near left upright. You see the official looking right up the upright from beneath it to make sure it cleared inside, and it did. And it's a 32-yard Max Trotz field goal with 4:23 to go. And now Harrison has upped their lead to 19-13. But the Falcons aren't out of it yet. They're going to get the football. They've got all their, check that, they've got 2 of their timeouts. As we have Devon Scarber back for Farmington. Told you we had a great crowd here tonight. That's the Harrison side on the far side. They've turned out in great numbers this evening. Scarber, number 4 on the near side of your picture, number 32, Damian Martin, the man on the right, ready to receive this punt for the Farmington Falcons. 4:23 to go. Harrison 19, Farmington 13. Trotz will handle kickoff duties here for Harrison. Short one. Going to go out of bounds at about the 23. So the flag is thrown, and the Falcons will have decent field position to begin. 1st and 10 Farmington after the walk-off. So Farmington starts from the 35. If you think about that, as opposed to a kickoff that goes into the end zone where they bring it out to the 20. That ball goes out of bounds. They bring it out to the 35, so it is in effect a 15-yard penalty. Well, in this case, I suppose you could say about a 12-yard penalty since the ball went out at the 23. Falcons 1st and 10 at the 35. They're going to work out of the shotgun formation. Craven awaits the snap. Plenty of time, can't find an open man, throws it to the near side, diving and unable to come up with it is Mitch Wilson. Jason Wilson, excuse me. You could just see there that Craven couldn't find an open man. He had all day to throw. But the coverage in the secondary of the blanket variety by Harrison, and Craven ended up throwing it, trying to hit Wilson on the near sideline. Didn't click. 2nd and 10 with 4:17 to go. Falcons need a touchdown to tie now. 3 wide, split to the near right side. A lot of contact downfield. And the pass goes out of bounds. Craven was being pressured and pressured hard by number 75 for Harrison, Darius Givens. And all he could do was get rid of it out of bounds. You see on the replay, nobody really particularly close to that pass. Mitch Sanders was as close as any other Falcon, but he was nowhere near it. Craven just had to get rid of it or take that. Getting rid of it at that point becomes the correct play. 3rd down and 10 for the Falcons. They've got an umbrella of receivers. Going to go deep down the right side, has the man open, underthrows it. And we may get pass interference here on Chris Pride as the intended receiver, Jason Wilson, went up for it. I'll tell you what, he had a couple of steps on Pride, and if they'd have been able to connect in stride on that one, that definitely would have been a Farmington touchdown, just like we saw in the first quarter when Craven hooked up with Wilson. And it is pass interference on Pride on Harrison. It's going to be 1st down Farmington. So they convert via penalty that key 3rd down and 10. The 15-yard walk-off from the original line of scrimmage, which was the 35. So the Falcons will have it 1st and 10 at midfield.
Pass interference against Harrison, 15-yard penalty. 1st down, Farmington.
The Falcons keep the drive alive. Down to 4:04 left in the 4th. 2 wide, split to each side now. Craven waits the snap. Instead, hands off, and a gain of a couple of yards by Trace Brusco.
Brought down by number 56, James of Harrison. Gain of 1 yard on the play, 2nd and 9.
Actually, a gain of 1.
49.
So a bit of a surprise there that we don't see Nino Jones in the football game. The Falcons come up 2nd down and 9. Wozmunski in the backfield. A handoff on an end around to Evola, who had that long kickoff return in the 3rd quarter. And Evola's going to pick up about 7 yards here. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for Farmington. Clock running with 3:10 left. 19-13, Harrison leading. Falcons trying to pull an upset of the major variety. I mean, Harrison wins this game every year, don't they? Well, just about they do. They've won 21 of the previous 24 get-togethers. Here's Craven, this time under center. There's Nino Jones, and there's a 1st down for the Falcons. Nino Jones running hard over the 40-yard line down to the 38. 1st and 10 Farmington. Clock stops while they move the chains. And Nino indicates first down for Farmington. It's a 5-yard pickup for Nino Jones. And the chains move. Clock will start when the ball is marked ready for play, which it is. So that clock is running as the Falcons huddle. Like to see them moving along here if they can. Down to about 2.5, down to 2.5 now in the football game. Harrison leading by 6. Again, Jones the ball carrier. Right side, good yardage down to the 30. Finally knocked down. Smacked down by Darius Givens, number 75, among others. Matt Cotty was also in on the stop for the Hawks. Here's the hard-running Nino Jones, able to turn that corner. Down to the 30. 2nd down and 2. Under 2 minutes to go now. Minute 55, clock running. Craven under center. The give to Jones. Jones inside the 30, but he's going to be a yard short of the 1st down. The clock continues to run. Minute 40. Jones a little slow getting up for Farmington, but he is up now. Minute 35 to go. Still the clock runs. Jones a little late getting back into that huddle. Tell it's getting chilly out there. You can see the player's breath now. 3rd down, and about 2. The give to Jones. Powering through the middle for 1st down yardage inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. That'll stop the clocks while they move the markers. I'll spot him down at the 25. Minute 19, clock stopped, but only momentarily. Let's move it along, Falcons. 1st down and 10. Farmington down by 6. The clock is restarted. A minute 15, 14, 13. Craven barks out the signals. Takes the shotgun snap. They've whistled the play dead. And we have a flag. In all likelihood, will be a penalty against the Falcons. Illegal procedure. It comes with 1:10 left in the football game. Harrison 19, Farmington 13 as we take a look at a play that wouldn't have counted even if it had been caught. Ball back to the 30-yard line now. They start the clock. Was Munski in the backfield with Craven. Craven wants to go deep down the left-hand side for Wilson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison. No, they say incomplete. Incomplete. Back, I believe that was number 4 Pelletier for Harrison, as it was Sanders, the intended receiver. And it looked to me like Pelletier had that thing picked off momentarily, but he was unable to come up with it cleanly. Let's take a look. That ball came loose when the man hit the turf. Clock stopped with 58.4 seconds to go. Again, Craven in the backfield. Fire go over the middle, way too tall though for the intended receiver, Mitch Sanders. 3rd down and 15. Ball at the 30. And there's the situation. That's 54.3 seconds to go. And the Falcons need a touchdown to tie. Here's Craven's toss, but no chance of completing that one to Sanders, who was double covered. Here come the Falcons to the line. 3 wide, split to the near right-hand side. All alone on the left is Jason Wilson. Good snap to Craven. Has time, steps into his throw. Man wide open! Touchdown! Touchdown Farmington! Brian Avola wide open in the end zone. Touchdown Farmington. We're tied with 47 seconds to go. Falcons do it. They go the length of the field and they tied it up. And the extra point pending. Wow. 30-yard touchdown pass to Brian Avola. Avola's had a big night, the big kickoff return earlier. How about this? Well, this is for the lead. Remember, Farmington went for 2 earlier, missed it. The kick is up. The kick is good. The Falcons lead. There's 47 seconds to go. Idarosa perfect on the extra point, and the Falcons take a 20-19 lead. A 30-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Craven to Brian Avola. Here's a look at it. He's got time, Craven does. Just steps up, lays it in there. Look how open Avola is as he collects the pass at the 5 and dances into the end zone to put Farmington on top, and the Falcons are 48 seconds away, 47.7 to be precise, from a major upset, from their first victory over Harrison since 1977. I can scarcely believe it. 20-19 Farmington. Wow. What a drive by the Falcons. Well, let's get a shot. There's the band. They're geeked. They're playing the fight song. The kids are standing. The fans are standing. I'm standing. You wonder what they're thinking about on that Harrison sideline. Here we go. The Hawks have 2 timeouts. There are 47.7 seconds to go. Idarosa's going to kick it away. Marco Idarosa. Brown is back deep, along with Coleman for Harrison. The Falcons lead. And here we go. Good long kick by Idarosa, going to go into the end zone. Good job. Good job, Marco. So the Hawks start at their own 20, 1st and 10. The clock did not start on the kick. And Coach Bechtel is upset about that. Was there a flag, or are we going to have a re-kick? Farmington is going back and setting up for a re-kick. They were offside. The Falcons were offside on the kickoff. All right. We'll do it again. It'll be a 5-yard walk-off, won't it? There we go. The kicker, Idarosa, picks up his tee and walks it back to the 35 himself. So the reset is the same. Or is it? Let's see who's deep back there. Brown and Coleman. The same two as before. Situation's the same. Falcons lead by 1. Iadarosa had the ball blow off the tee. The Falcons are going to call a timeout. Let's take a break and catch our breath. 47 seconds to go. The Falcons lead by a single point. We're going to come back for the conclusion in just a moment right here on TV 10. All right, here we are at Falcon Field. The Harrison Hawks have to figure out a way to put points on the board here with 47.7 seconds to go, or they're going to see their 17-game win streak against Farmington come to an end right here at Falcon Field. The 30-yard touchdown pass from Craven to Evola, putting the Falcons on top. The 6th lead change in tonight's game. Maybe the best high school game I've ever called. Maybe the best I've ever seen. The kick is away. Got to be Brown on the return at the 10. He dropped it. Can't find it. Picks it up. Going wide right. Look out. Finding a seam. He's out to the 30. Just a couple of men to beat. He's out to the 45, to the 50, and finally driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line with 34.8 seconds to go. Sometimes that happens. The receiver, the kick return man, fumbles that ball, and it seems to throw the timing of the cover team off. And Brown went to the far side of the field and raced down the sideline. And I'll tell you what, he was slowed up by number 13, Mitch Sanders, and finally driven out of bounds. They mark him out at the 50. Now Harrison, a field goal, wins it for him in a one-point game. So that offside on the kickoff really hurts the Falcons. Harrison would have started from their own 20. Now their replacement quarterback, Salatino, got the good arm, and he overshoots Pride at the 40, incomplete. Down to 29.7 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 for Harrison at midfield. Farmington 20, Harrison 19. Salatino came into the game for Harrison midway through the 4th quarter. Junior quarterback with a terrific arm. Great size at 6'3". Brown is flanked to our near left side. Pride in the slot. Salatino looking left, throwing left. Caught by Pride down at the 34-yard line. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. Harrison has 2 timeouts left. It's going to be first down Harrison at the Farmington 34. Now the clock starts, 20 seconds to go. Still running. I wonder why Harrison doesn't call a timeout. Salatino going to try a screen to Coleman, and Coleman hit at the 35, fumbled. That ball's loose. That's loose on the ground. Who has it? Farmington. Farmington has it. They're going to win. 9 seconds to go. Coleman hit, fumbled. Falcons recover. They're going to win the football game. 9 seconds to go. How about that? Little flanker screen to Coleman, and he got stuck, and the ball came free. Way to go, Coach Bechtel. Let's take a look at this one. Coming up is number 4. You got to know it was Devon Scarber, who's had a great football game tonight, and he jars the ball loose. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure who came up with it down there, but it was a Falcon. That's the important thing. Timeout. Timeout Farmington. How about that? How about that? 9.1 to go. Take a knee, boys. Harrison's got 2 timeouts, but they can't kill all the time. How about that? The Falcons on the cusp of their first victory over Harrison since 1977, 31 years. In those 31 years, the Falcons have lost 17 in a row to Harrison. Wow. The band has regrouped down below. They're getting ready to party down. But I'll tell you, what a thriller. Farmington offside on the kickoff after scoring the touchdown with 47 seconds to go that put him into the lead, and Harrison, instead of starting at their own 20, had the ball at midfield, and then the turnover, and it's victory formation for the Falcons. The knee is taken, and Harrison's not going to use that timeout. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1, no time left. The Falcons win. Wow, what a ball game, and look at the guys. What a ball game. What a victory for Farmington. How about that? That is one of the greatest high school football games I have ever seen. How about that? 6 lead change. Farmington wins it in the final minute. They shake hands at center field, midfield, with Farmington shaking hands as victors for the first time against Harrison in 31 years. A great job by the crew tonight. I got to tell you, I had a great time. My name is Rich Kincaid. We're going to be back with you next week from Harrison for that game between Harrison and Rochester Adams. But Farmington makes some kind of history here tonight at Falcon Field. They put an end to a 17-game losing streak against Harrison. The final score, Farmington 20. Farmington Hills Harrison 19. And until next Friday night, on behalf of our TV10 crew, good night, everybody. What a game.